Hi, third grade friends. Today we are going to be talking about something called a prompt, as you can see here on page 218 from your My Book. If you want to get your My Book to have it in front of you as well, pause the video while you go get it. Many writing tasks you will encounter begin with a prompt that explains the task. The prompt tells exactly what you have to do, and it is important to understand all the parts of the prompt before beginning to write. When you respond to a prompt, which means doing what it tells you to do, there are some steps you need to follow. Number 1, read the prompt carefully. You can't know what to write about unless you read the prompt and do what it says. Think of the prompt as your directions. Number 2, ask yourself, what is the prompt asking me to do? What am I supposed to write? Make sure you understand whether you are being asked to write a story, an opinion essay, an informational essay, or some other kind of writing. Number 3, restate the prompt in your own words to make sure you understand it. You could do this by restating it silently in your head or by writing a few quick notes on scrap paper that tell you what you understood the prompt to say. Number 4, decide which selections or stories you may need to look back at to use in your writing. And number 5, when you are finished reading the prompt and making sure you understand what it's asking you to do, complete the parts of the writing process. Plan, draft, revise and edit, and publish. Now I want you to follow along with me as I read the prompt found on page 218 in your My Book. Prompt. Think about the ways the characters in this module and the people you know use words to share their thoughts and ideas. Sometimes people invent new words. When that happens, dictionaries decide if they should add those words. Imagine that a word you use is not in the dictionary. Write a letter to the people in charge of the dictionary to explain why your word should be added. Use examples from the text to help you make the case for your word. I will write about the word blank. Now that we have read the prompt, I'm going to model for you how to break apart the prompt and pay attention to important key words. If you take a look at my screen, the first sentence of the prompt says this. Think about the ways the characters in this module and the people you know use words to share their thoughts and ideas. This reminds me about the ways characters and people use words to share thoughts and ideas. The next two sentences say, sometimes people invent new words. When that happens, dictionaries decide if they should add those words. This reminds me that dictionaries decide if those words should be added and defined. The following sentence says, imagine that a word you use is not in the dictionary. This describes a situation in which a certain word is not yet in the dictionary. The next sentence tells what I should write. Write a letter to the people in charge of the dictionary and that I need to explain why the word should be added. That means that I also need to give reasons to add the word. The last sentence tells me to look for examples from the selections or texts we have read in this module that support my idea. Use examples from the text to help you make the case for your word. Now that we have broken the prompt apart, let's take a look at the checklist on page 218. So we'll scroll down here, and here's the persuasive letter checklist. Make sure your persuasive letter includes a greeting and a closing, has a clear claim that tells why your word should be added, presents your reasons in a clear way and uses facts and examples as support, ends by restating why your word should be added. As you write, you should return to this checklist to make sure your persuasive letters have everything in them that this checklist says they should. Before filling in your graphic organizer for the plan step of the writing process, Think about your word and the claim that you want to share with decision makers at the dictionary. Why does your word need to appear in the dictionary? You can back up your reasons with evidence from the module selections or stories we've read so far and from other sources. The reasons you write in the graphic organizer should support your claim. As you draft the beginning of your persuasive letters, remember that the beginning is where you should identify your word and state your claim about it. One important thing to remember is that an interesting beginning catches the reader's attention, so they will want to learn more about the reasons that support the claim. Remember that presenting reasons in an order that makes sense, such as order of importance, helps readers to understand. Don't forget to use transition or linking words, such as because, to connect the claim and the reasons. For example, I think the word blank should be added to the dictionary because blank. In addition to restating the claim, a good ending should leave readers with something to think about. For example, how will people benefit from having the word appear in the dictionary? Now let's turn to page 221 in your My Book and review the rubric. Answer these questions about your persuasive letter to self-evaluate your work. Purpose and focus. Does my letter identify the word I want to add to the dictionary? Have I included reasons that support my claim? Organization. Do I explain my reasons in an order that makes sense? Does the ending restate my claim? Evidence. Did I include examples and other text evidence? Language and vocabulary. Did I use words such as because to connect my opinion and reasons? Did I use clear and exact words to explain my reasons? And finally, conventions. Have I spelled all words correctly? Have I used the correct form for a letter? Have I used proper and plural nouns correctly? Again, answer these questions about your own work to make sure you have done all of these things in your writing. Now, before we are done, we're going to review the cursive handwriting chart that you see here. So just as a reminder, in cursive handwriting, the letters in each word are connected. So you can see the example there that says this is cursive handwriting. And you'll notice how all of those letters are connected to one another instead of having spaces between them like these letters that were printed up here. Think about the size and shape of each letter. Practice forming each letter neatly and correctly. Practice connecting the letters. Be sure the connecting lines are not too short or too long. That's all for now, friends. Have a great day.